Hi, everybody. It's been a while. So how you doing? Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to come on today because there's something really exciting going on right now, and I felt like it would not be right for me to not share it with you because there's the collective thing happening, and if you can get on the bandwagon, it will help you individually, and I want you to know about it because I'm excited about it, about what's going to be happening energetically in the next several weeks for us as a collective and potentially for us individually. And so, what I want to tell you about is the energies that are at work right now and that you can capitalize on to help you in your personal growth and expansion during this period. And specifically, I'm talking about the fact that the collectively, our North Node is in Taurus right now. That's been since January 19th, I believe. And first of all, before I get started, let me just say a few things. Number one, I am not an astrologist. I'm not. I am not a therapist or a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything like that. I speak from my life personal experience. And as far as astrology goes, the things that I do know, I know because I was guided and directed to them by my soul. Whenever my soul tells me to do something and look at something, I will do that because that means it's auspicious for me. And it actually is auspicious for all of us right now because I've been sharing this information with several people and I have found that they have found benefit in it. And so I thought, you know what, you need to share this at a greater scale so other people can learn about it too. But it's just because I just listen to the prompting that says, hey, you need to go check this out because it's relevant to you right now. And I do that. And I say that to say that anytime your soul is telling you or your spirit is telling you that you need to look at something, you should do it. It never has failed for me. Or it's telling you to go in a particular direction. It doesn't matter what it's telling anybody else or what they're supposed to do. What matters is that you follow what it is telling you that you should do. But I do like to put that disclaimer out there that I am not a therapist. I'm not an astrologist. I'm here giving you information based upon my own personal life experience and what the universe and divine has been working out with me. So, what I do want to tell you is, and I have some notes, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing, that collectively, humanity, we have been with our North Node in Taurus and our South Node in Scorpio since January 19th. And nodes are not heavenly bodies. Nodes are like mathematical sorts of computations to help you understand what's going on in your astrological chart and in your life based upon where they fall in your chart. And so our North Node is about the mastery of things. It's the things that we're going to. And our South Node is about the things that we're coming from, the things that we've had to work with and deal with in order for us to be able to walk in the fullness of our North Node. So like I said, collectively, which means globally, we are all currently working with a Taurus North Node and a Scorpio South Node. And Taurus is about having all that we came here to have. It's about abundance. It's about walking in the fullness of who we really, really are. And in order for us to do that, we've got to move through that South node in Scorpio. And Scorpio is all about death and rebirth. It's about the deep, dark things that we maybe have not dealt with, that have just been there for our lifetime, maybe several lifetimes if you ascribe to that belief. But these are patterns, ways of being, ways of thinking that just repeat over and over and over. And so Scorpio is about bringing those things up out of the basement. I call it going into the basement, going into the deep dark corners, finding out what's down there, sweeping that stuff out and clearing it out of the way so that we can fully move into the fullness of that North Node Taurus energy and be able to walk in the fullness of what that is, which is having all the things, prosperity, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, relationships, occupation, everything, purpose. It's having all that we're supposed to have in all of those areas. And in order for us to get to that, we got to move through some of those deeper, dark things. We've done a lot of work collectively in the last couple of years. Collectively, we really, really have. But there's still a lot left to be done. There's still a lot of more deeper things in the basement that we've got to allow to come to the surface so they can get cleared out so that we can walk in the fullness of that. So that's collectively, but it also affects us individually, which means that you would do well to find out what your individual North and South Node are in. And in order for you to do that, you need to get a North-South Node calculator, which you can find online. Just look up North-South Node calculator and you'll find a website or two that will show you how to do that. I know of a couple. I'll put them in the description so you can connect to those if you would like to do that. But knowing where your personal north and south node are, which depends on your the time of your birth and when the day you were born and the year you were born, when you can find that stuff out, then it gives you a much better picture of what you specifically are trying to move into in this experience and move out of, what those energies look like for you, that you can be able to work with during this time in the next 18 months and in this next week in particular, and in fact the next several weeks in particular. And I'll tell you why. Because this week on Saturday we have a full moon in Libra, and Libra is about being a peacekeeper. It's about sometimes not standing in your truth in the interest of keeping the peace. It's often about putting others before yourself to make everyone else more comfortable. So it's about learning how this full moon is about learning how to stand in the truth of who we are, which is associated with your North Node energies, your personal North Node energies. I'll give you an example. My North Node is in Aries and my South Node is in Libra. So this is a really significant weekend for me in that respect, because Aries is about moving into standing into your own power, kind of like what I just said, learning to speak your own truth, learning to have the balance between that extreme energy of I'm doing things my way and it's all about me versus doing things to accommodate others. And there's a lot of codependency around that. So if you struggled with a lot of codependency in your life, your nodes might be either your North Node could be in Aries and your South Node in Libra, or it could be switched. Your South Node could be in Aries and your North Node in Libra, because whatever your North Node is in, it's always going to be the opposite sign in your South Node, just so you know. But for me, that's what it is. So it's about learning how to stand in my truth, speak it in a way that feels good to me, and to be able to be the fullness of who I am in that regard, but also working through those things that have maybe at times allowed me to put others' interests above my own. Really what it comes down to is focusing on others instead of focusing on yourself. And so those are some of the things that I've been working on in this lifetime. And I understand at this point in this week, I'm done working on that. I don't want to do it anymore. Like when you make up your mind that you want to expand into the next arena of who you are supposed to be, I can promise you that the divine, God, the universe, whatever, your inner being will line up everything for you to be able to make that happen for yourself. And you will begin, it's been this way for me my whole life. It's just manifested differently depending on where I was at and what tradition I was working with, or how I was choosing to walk that out in my life at that time. But I can tell you story after story after story of me seeing what some people would call miracles, only because I had made up my mind that I was ready to go to the next place. Like, I'm done doing this. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, I want to tell you that this weekend, that full moon in Libra, full moons are a great time to release the things that are no longer serving us, the things that have kept us from our North Node and being the fullness of who we are, those deep, dark things that maybe we'd struggled with. And because we have this scorpionic energy around it, Scorpio, my sun sign is Scorpio. So part of the reason I have lived that life is partly because of that, I'm sure, meaning that I have no fear of death, whatever. Like, this is what Scorpios do. We die and we come back stronger. We know this about ourselves, so we don't mind dying to some things. Now, it may take us a minute to accept that we need to die to it, but once we make up our minds that this has got to die, we dive in, we die, we let it go. That's why Scorpios are associated with the phoenix. The phoenix sees the fire and it actually goes into the fire and kills itself because it knows it's going to come back stronger and more powerful than it was before. And so Scorpios are about that. So that kind of energy is available to us January 19th for the next 18 months to help you be able to work with that energy and be able to release stuff and let it go. And not, some of the things that maybe you've been a little intimidated about or afraid to work with in the past, you now have this extra supportive energy to assist you in releasing and letting that stuff go. And again, I say this week in particular because we've got that full moon coming up, but also because it is Easter, it is Passover season. And regardless of what tradition you follow, I'm not going to speak about this from a religious or traditional standpoint. I tend to speak about things from a more spiritual standpoint because that's the even thread that goes through all things in my experience. From a spiritual standpoint, this season, this weekend, again, is about death and rebirth. That is what the Passover and the Easter season is about. It is about death, rebirth, and ascending to another place than we were before. It's having the mind of Christ consciousness that says, like the phoenix, I'm going to just go in and do this, knowing that on the other side, there's so much more abundance and beauty that's going to be available to me once I let all of this stuff come up to the surface. We nail it to the cross, or we burn it in the fire, or whatever it is that we need to do, and allow it to move through us. So that I like allow better because it sounds a little less dramatic than crucifixion or burning things out. Really, it can be a very smooth and simple process. And like I said, if you are truly committed to it, you will be given the opportunities and the things to help you do that. It happened to me just today when I was with a group of other Reiki masters that we come together to support each other and to learn new things. And I had no expectation that I would have this tremendous, beautiful heart opening and releasing and cleansing and allowing the stage to be set for what else is going to happen for the rest of this week, even just for me. And I'm just telling you, that's the kind of stuff that will happen if you make up your mind to set it to bed once and for all, whatever those things are. Time for us to let them go and move ahead. And it's going to be really helpful too to know that at the end of this month, there's actually going to be a solar eclipse on April 30th in Taurus. Again, it's that Taurus energy that we can be working with to help us move into the fullness of who we are supposed to be. And directly after that, on May 16th, there's going to be a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which is, again, more energy to help us release all of this stuff. And there'll be a flip of that later this year. So I'm telling you, there's still time to do it, but there's an especially auspicious opportunity to work with all of that this week because of the Passover, Easter season, the lunar eclipse, the lunar full moon in Libra. All of those energies right now are really here to help support us to be able to expand more into the fullness and wonder and beauty of who we really are. And as you know, if you know me, that is my passion, is to help us be able to live inspired, meaning that we live as the being that we came here to be, the inspiration of the divine, the universe, all that is, that we can walk fully into that and be that in this experience presently. So that's some information that might be able to help you throughout this next week and next several weeks, in fact, and maybe even for the next 18 months, right? For you to be able to work with these energies. And let me just tell you, if there's anything I can do to support you during this period, I'm available to you. Comments, if you want to put those down there, you can check out my website, www.livinspiredhealingarts.com, where there are services listed there that I can offer you to help you during the season if that's something that sounds like you want to do. Other than that, I will just tell you, I hope that this is an auspicious time for you as well, that you're able to move into the fullness and beauty and wonder of who you are. More of that, more and more and more of that as you move through your life. And I just want to say, I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is. And as always, may you ever live inspired. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.